Hi students, this is AJ sir. Let's study 9th standard ICSE Math exercise 6F. Now in exercise 6F again we have some word problems. Let's do the first sum. By the way, mark the third sum and the ninth sum as IMP. In the first sum, it's an age sum. 5 years ago, A's age was 4 times B's age. And 5 years hence, that is after 5 years, A's age will be twice the age of B. So here again we'll make a table. The present ages are assumed as X and Y respectively. 5 years ago, these are the ages, and 5 years hence, these are the ages in years. According to condition 1, 5 years ago, A's age is 4 times B's age. So that's equation number 1. Open the brackets and like terms together. And the second condition says that 5 years hence, A's age is twice B's age. So that's the second condition. Solve them simultaneously, get the values. Write the final statement that A's age is 25 years and B's age is 10 years. Don't forget the units, else we'll lose marks. Now again, there's an age sum. We have two conditions, 4 years ago and 6 years later. So let's make a table first of all. Present age of mother and daughter are X and Y years respectively. 4 years ago, these are the ages, and 6 years later, these are the ages. Now let's read the condition. 4 years ago, a mother was 4 times as old as her daughter. And 6 years later, the mother will be 2.5 times. 2.5 means 5 upon 2 times as old as her daughter. So from these two conditions, we can frame two equations. Here, make sure you do cross multiplication, opening the brackets, like terms together. Show all the steps. Don't do it directly. Solving these two equations together simultaneously, we get the values of X and Y. And don't forget the final statement. Mother's age is 44 years and daughter's age is 14 years. Students, now the annual incomes of A and B are in the ratio 3:4 and their expenditures are in the ratio 5:7, but the savings is same, 5,000 rupees each. Then what is the annual income? Now there are two ways to solve this sum. The first method is if the incomes are in the ratio 3:4, then let the common multiple be X. So I'm assuming the incomes to be 3x and 4x respectively, rupees of course. And the expenditure is in the ratio 5:7, so their respective expenditures will be 5y and 7y respectively. Now we know that savings is income minus expenditure. That means 3x minus 5y is this, and 4x minus 7y is this. These are the respective savings according to our table. But the savings are given. The savings are given as 5,000 each for A and for B. So we got two equations, solve them simultaneously and get the value of X. Don't get the value of Y because we don't need it in this sum. So make sure you eliminate Y while solving. Get the value of X and substitute in these expressions to get the A's income and B's income. Y is not required because expenditure hasn't been asked. Now the other method would be to assume the income of A and B as X and Y. Since that is what is asked in the question, we can start with assuming their values. And the savings are 5,000 each. That means the expenditure would be X minus 5,000 and Y minus 5,000. So that will be a different table in that method. And the two equations would be, first of all, they have mentioned that the ratio of X and Y is 3/4. So that will be the first equation. X upon Y is equal to 3/4. Cross multiply and get equation number 1. And the second equation is that they have given the ratio of the expenditures. So we'll say X minus 5,000 upon y minus 5000 is equal to 5 upon 7. We can cross multiply this and get the second equation. So after getting the two equations, then solve them simultaneously to get the values of both x and y, and those are the required incomes of a and b. So whichever method you prefer, you may solve it in that manner. Now in the seventh sum, a and b both have some pencils. Let them be x and y respectively. A gives 10 pencils to B in case 1 and B gives 10 pencils to A in case 2. So let's make a table out of it. That makes it easy to solve. No need to write big statements. So we've assumed x and y. If x gives 10 pencils to B, it will be y plus 10 and he will have x minus 10. On the other hand, if B would have given 10 pencils to A, B would have y minus 10 pencils and x would have x plus 10 pencils. Now the two conditions are, first of all, in case 1, the number of pencils which B has is twice that of A. So solving this, we get equation number 1. And in case 2, the number of pencils with A and B would be equal. So solving that, we get equation number 2. Solve them simultaneously and get the values. And don't forget to write the final statement, the answer, that A will have 50 pencils and B has 70 pencils. Now in this sum, we have two articles. Their total selling price is given as 1167 and their individual profit percentages are given. And in case 2, again the total selling price is given and the profit percentages are 7 and 5%, which are mirror images of each other. We have to find the cost price of each article. So since there are two cases, we'll have to make two tables. In case 1, let's assume that the cost prices are x and y respectively, in rupees of course. Profit percentages are given and the formula for selling price is 100 plus profit percent upon 100 into CP. That's the formula. So we get this as the selling price. Don't reduce it further. Similarly, we get the selling price here. Note that both the denominators are 100. That is why we are not reducing it further. Now the total selling price is given in the question. So let's add these two selling prices, which should be 1167. The common denominator goes up and we get equation number 1. Similarly, we have case 2, in which the cost price will be the same, but the profit percentages have been interchanged. So we get two new selling prices individually, and the total selling price has been given for case 2 as well. That means this plus this is 1165. Again, don't reduce this fraction because the common denominator can be shifted and we can get a new equation. Now these two equations have mirror images in their coefficients and we know how to solve such simultaneous equations. First we add them to get one equation and then we subtract them to get another equation. That makes it easier to solve further. So when we add them, then we have to divide this whole equation by 212. And even here, divide the whole equation by -2 to get two new equations. That is equation number 3 and equation number 4. Make sure you write all the reasons. Now solve equation number 3 and 4 simultaneously to get the values of x and y. And don't forget to write the final statement. That means cost price of A is rupees 500 and cost price of B is rupees 600.